Hey guys, Wilson from On the Mewve here, and I've got a video on what you should be doing in the springtime to take care of your RV. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed, things you want to check out, things you want to do before you head out on those early trips this year. So stay tuned and I'll tell you some of my top things I like to address every spring. Get out here and wash and wax your camper. So we've already washed the camper, had my son help me out with that yesterday, get all the surface dirt off of it and everything, and now we're ready to put a coat of wax on it. This doesn't have to be a huge job, although it can be a tough job to do. So last year I really worked hard on buffing the camper and cleaning it, and this year I'm just putting a coat of maintenance wax on it. So what I'm doing here is I'm using Meguiar's cleaner wax, and this is the marine RV wax that's good for fiberglass. I'm just putting a coat on, and then I'm coming back and I'm gonna buff it out with my buffer here, and you can already see hopefully some of the shine here. I've already done this door, I've done this part, and I'm fixing to buff out this top part right here. You can see on that slide how shiny it is. The shine's gonna last for a while. Our camper's about 5 years old, and so you have to do this about twice a year. Springtime's a great time to do it. You should do it twice a year. I typically do it about once a year. I'm gonna show you one other little trick too. As you get ready to wax your camper or in the process, you wanna try to stay away from these seals, because if you hit that with the buffer, it's gonna tear off a little bit of rubber, and I'm gonna come back and condition and clean those up really well after I'm done. But I'm gonna take my hand cloth here, my towel, and I'm just gonna wipe down these sides real good up against that rubber seal. That way I don't have to sit here and buff right up against that rubber seal, because you will see black rubber just come all over the camper as you do that. All right, magical stuff right here, WD-40. It has so many different uses. We have this piece of aluminum down here, this piece of trim, and it inevitably gets wax on it, okay? So how can I clean this up? WD-40 is your friend here. So what we do is we're just going to control spray a little bit here, and we're going to wipe this down kind of in a circular motion. It's going to clean and remove that excess wax that may have gotten on this trim. Look at this, it just comes off so nice. Look how beautiful that looks right there. We're just going to do this. Try not to get it on the fiberglass, because you don't want to take off the wax you just put on there. Man, look at that shine. I'm not a WD-40 salesman, but I should be at this point. Look at that. And it's gonna last for a while, and this is just a quick, easy touch-up thing that you can do at pretty much any time. You can do that here on these sides too. I do like to buff these out pretty well, but then you can take and just wipe them down, and they're gonna look nice and glossy for a little while. You can even wipe down your window edges with this, and it will clean those as well. So another thing I like to check out when I'm doing my spring kind of checking out the camper is to look for screws that are missing. So this thing goes through an earthquake basically going down the road, and so I just noticed this right here had come loose, so we need a screw right here. These are just Rec Pro RV screws, the black heads. Sometimes you need the white heads. I'll put a link below in the video so you can order these. You can order them by the 50, 100, whatever you need, and they're pretty quick, usually one-day delivery if you need them from Amazon. All right, keep recording. Okay. There we go, all fixed. I did put a little bit of silicone on the back side of the screw just to make sure we don't have any water leakage there, but there is a gasket that's on the back side here too. So we're going to check out a couple other places where screws come loose. One other place to inspect is all along any piece of trim on the camper, because these just back out. I don't think it has anything to do with manufacturing, it's just the conditions of the road and just all the vibration that happens. Sometimes these screws will back out, and I just noticed this one is just completely missing that screw. So we're just going to pop a new one in. fact, I'm going to go ahead and replace. We'll replace this one simply because the black on the head had worn off. So no reason to replace it. Other than trying to make it look new again. So this is another place you need to check. Our little support arms here that hold this piece of metal, the flashing on, they constantly come loose, and it's just because the screws back out. So we're just going to put a new one in. One of the other things you should do, and you should really check these every year. I don't necessarily reseal each of these every year, but I do inspect. This year, it's been about 3 years since this has been done, and so I went ahead and I inspected all of my seals, and what I did is I came back and I cleaned these really, really well, and you can see there's a new bead of silicone that I've put here, and I'll put a link down below so you guys can access the correct type of silicone. You don't want to use just any silicone here. It's a specialized silicone for these rubber seals and meeting the RV fiberglass or Filan material here. We want to make sure that this is done correctly so that we don't have any leaks along here. Sometimes this is what creates leaks that damage your floor or even damage your slides. One more tip for your spring cleaning, get on the roof. Check things out. So we're going to do two things real quick. We're going to clean our air conditioner coils, and we've got this spray that I've got off Amazon. I'll put a link below for that, and then a small brush. And actually this little kit comes with two brushes. One is a metal tool that you can really work out some junk out of your fins of your air conditioner, and then one is just kind of a mild brush that you can easily brush away any dirt that's in there. Mine's pretty clean, but we're just going to go ahead and spring clean this anyway. Make sure everything's good for the summertime. This creates a little less energy usage for your air conditioner. So this is a fin opening tool. If you have some issues with some fins that are damaged, you can stick this in those fins and just kind of gently work this up, and it'll open those fins back up. If you've got some really damaged ones, this might not work for you very well, but it does get in there and will open most of those fins back up. I've got two here that just look to be kind of crushed and they don't want to go back in. So fin cleaning tool, and then we have our brush. We have a brush for any kind of big debris, and this little brush right here will not hurt your fins at all. We're going to spray our cleaner in here. And these aren't very dirty, so it's just going to get dust off. Some of these cleaners will foam a little bit more than others, so we're going to let that just work on any of that dust that might be in there, dirt, and then we'll wash this out really nice and easily. I'm going to take a minute and just kind of brush off some dust off the fan and make sure that's clean as well while I'm here. All right, one of the other things that you should do during the spring is to kind of check your seals. Make sure that everything is sealed up and you're not going to have any leaks this summer to ruin your summer trip. So our seals here, we've got self-leveling Dicor. I've already resealed this one recently. This is on the back cap, and you're just going to put a nice layer on there. Make sure that it settles in nicely. Once you use your caulk gun on this, it's going to self-level and everything's going to look nice and smooth here. Double check everything on the roof. You've got all kinds of areas that you need to seal. The ladder, while you're on the roof, go ahead and check out your solar panels, make sure everything's good. Check your connectors. You might want to look around, double check all of your caulking that's on your screws, depending on how you have your solar hooked up and attached to the roof. You might want to clean your solar panels a little bit too as well. Look for any kind of caked up mud like we've got a couple of places where the water settles, it's a good time to go ahead and fix that so you make sure you get full solar production as well. So we're going to do a bearing repack. This is a great chance to do a couple things: inspect your tires, check for any bearing issues, check your axles, check all of your spring hangers, and just do a little brake maintenance as well. You might catch something here while you're repacking the bearings that could save you a lot of time and a lot of issues as you're traveling. Another tip that you might want to consider is to just check out all of your pipes before you head out on that first trip. If you can access water from wherever you store your camper, you might want to go ahead and connect that water hose and run some water through your pipes to make sure you don't have any leaks. Check underneath, check in your basement compartment, maybe look under the sinks, make sure there's nothing that's leaking before you head out, because nothing's worse than having a leaky pipe while you're out camping. We've had that happen with our shower pan before, and it just made for a really tough time for that weekend trip. All right, there we have it as far as our spring get ready video for camping. And I hope these tips and tricks will help you out. I'm going to put some links down below for some of the products that I've used in the video, and hopefully this will help you kind of with your shakedown trip, because everybody likes to take that shakedown trip. But before you leave the driveway, make sure that you've got all the things in order that you need. All right, we'll see you next time out on the Mewve.